Hello, I'm Dr. Gibbons and I want to welcome you to my chemistry course. Winter 2022 is my first quarter at admins as well as my first truly hybrid class. I've been teaching online classes, and since our first week is online, I'm adapting my practices from running classes online to our quarter, which is planned to have 3 in-person meetings per week. Since this is my first quarter teaching this version of Chem&139, the schedule and pace are subject to change, and I'm still developing policies and resources specific to admins. I'll be using recordings I made in 2020 from a synchronous class because I find those so much more vibrant than lectures I record all by myself. So we'll need to adapt some of the details, so just ignore any references to lab. That was a class with a lab attached. And that class also used ALEC's homework system instead of OWL. We're going to use OWL homework system. So I'm not able to edit those references out, but I do have very similar content, and the first couple weeks will be the same, and then it'll begin to diverge later in the quarter, so we'll figure out how that works. We will be using my YouTube playlist for Unit 1, and beyond that, we'll just figure out what makes sense. Alright, so this video is going to highlight the main points of the syllabus, give you some study tips and resources, and I'd like you to read the syllabus in advance so that this you can watch maybe on a double time and just jot down questions, or you can have it there in hard copy so that you can just write notes or questions on there. But first I'll introduce myself. Although I am just starting at the beautiful Edmonds campus, I've been teaching at local community colleges for many years, and I just love working with the students. It's really a special environment where everyone is so exciting, so vibrant, and engaged. All right, so a little bit about me. I love to dance, I train my dogs, I work in the garden, and I keep some chickens. And I've been teaching exclusively online since March 2020, so I'm pretty excited to go back to working in person. And to prepare for that, I am fully vaccinated and I've had my booster shot. And I do plan to take a rapid antigen test right before our first in-person meeting, just to make sure I'm all clear from the holidays. Students who have not attested to their vaccination status by January 4th will be dropped from the class, so please don't forget to do that. I encourage you to get boosted as well as soon as possible. And if you have any cold symptoms, please stay home. I intend to support all of our content with videos on the website for those who might need to miss class due to the sniffles. So please try to keep us all safe from getting sick, and wash your hands, wear your mask, and stay home if you have any symptoms. I have not had a chance to go to campus and learn about the technology resources available, but I'm hoping I can record anything that we present in the classroom and post that later for students who need to stay home. All right. Now, usually when we're in class, I expect students to work on problem solving collaboratively, and I want to emphasize the importance of supporting each other and building a network of trust with our peers. That is where the learning really occurs. It's only when we try to articulate what we know that we reach the limits of our understanding. And in that moment, when you can't quite say what you're thinking, that's when we're the most available to remember how things work. So we put that effort out there, we're wrong a lot, and then we get the right answers and we have a place to put it. So I encourage everyone to be very humble and very brave and to stay curious, so we work really authentically with each other in the classroom. All right, our main learning activity in the class is to work through problems on worksheets. I'm going to give you some worksheets, and in class we'll work on them collaboratively with other students. They are not graded or collected, but they will take you through the content with the support of the notes embedded in them and your classmates and me. I have videos recorded of me solving those and sort of leading a discussion, so you can use the videos to work through them, but be prepared to stop the video and take some time to problem solve and work ahead, and then play it when you get stuck or if you want to check your answers. So be prepared to start and stop because I cut out all that waiting time. It probably will take you about twice as long as the length of the video to work the problems. All right, I will show you where to find the worksheets and the recordings on the next video, which is the WAMAP tour. So again, those are not collected or graded. They are the learning activity. All right, so for now, I'm going to share my screen and go over the syllabus. So hopefully you have your syllabus ready and out there. Okay, 5-credit class. We are supposed to meet Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, but we are meeting online to begin with. And so there we go. I've actually extended the time. Our class meeting time is 50 minutes, which would be like a 5 hours a week class where 2 of those hours, Monday and Friday, are online and 3 are in person. When we're on Zoom, I like to do 75-minute sessions. So I'm going to extend those to 9:45 just so that we're not too rushed. If you have to leave, just let me know. And please, I would really encourage everyone to have their video on. It doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're wandering away and you're not really paying attention, that's fine too, because then I won't wait for you. I'll see, oh, they're not at their spot. Or if you're driving, what have you. It's really helpful when your video's on because then we can get to know each other and build that cohort like we did in the classroom. Okay, we will meet in Hazel Miller 310. And this is all my information. My email address is active, so that's one way to reach me. When I get this video posted, I will send out the syllabus, and I will ask that you message me on WAMAP. Yes, I'll make the video tour on Monday. I'm going to post an old video tour first because I'm running a little late. Okay, so I do have office hours. If we're in person, then I'll see you right after class. And when we're online, I have some Zoom drop-in hours. You can also request other times that work for you if the times I've selected don't fit your schedule. All right, so this is a preparatory chemistry for Chem 161. It has a math prerequisite. It's just so much more fun to learn chemistry if you're not struggling with math. So I encourage you to go ahead and take the math that you need to have it be pretty easy. And that way you can really focus on the hard part of chemistry. All right, it's a hybrid course. In the hybrid model, we would expect 2 hours of class time outside of our meeting times plus our 3 hours in session, and then another 2 to 3 hours per credit outside of that. So an additional 10 to 12 hours per week if you want to score really high. Might be a little lower than that since there's no lab. All right, here's our learning objectives. You'll be able to use qualitative and quantitative language of chemistry. Boy, the vocabulary is a big reason that Prep Chem helps so much with Chem 161. We will classify and visualize matter, and we will work on problem solving and spend a lot of time working on that. All right, you will need the online homework access. So this is a link. When you get your syllabus, you will see it there, and it's also linked inside WAMAP. And we will use the ebook. You have to be logged into your OWL account to view the ebook. But once you log in and it's there, it lasts for a while. It doesn't log you out every 20 minutes, so that's nice. We are using the 9th edition of the Zoom Delta Cost book. This is a really robust book. It's been around for a long time. You don't have to have a hard copy, but I like to work from paper. I think it's just so much more tangible. So you could actually get an older edition and buy one at a discount bookseller or online or something. So this is a good resource. We won't be using all the chapters, but they'll be in there if you need them later. So it is a really good resource. I would invest in that. Or you can just use the ebook too. Okay. Let's see. Calculator. You need to have a calculator that's not a cell phone. I don't know if Edmonds allows graphing calculators. I know that at other colleges sometimes they don't want you to have graphing calculators. So it's a scientific calculator, but I'm not too fussy. I really want you to have a calculator that you use all quarter. That's not your phone. No cell phone calculators. It's a good idea to have a bound notebook for problem solving. So I'll show you, I use these. These are the lab notebooks. They get left in my office. And I just write all my stuff in here. That way it's chronological. You can use little tabs to mark the section you're in, like the chapter, for example. And that's a really good way to work your homework on OWL. Have a paper record of what you're doing. Work it out. And then leave some extra room so that if you get stuck and you have questions, you have room to put the right answer. And if you flag those, it's like your own custom study guide at the end of the quarter. So I strongly recommend that. Another practice I like to use is to write only on one side. So this side is totally empty. And then that way, as I'm going through, if I'm doing all my formal work here, or here's like paper taped in there, sometimes we'll do that. These sides tend to get some notes on them. So all my formal work's over here, but then I have some spillover room. I have room for some extra notes on the other side. That's optional. I'm just recommending it as a way to organize your problem solving rather than using scratch paper that's loose leaf. You will need a computer and internet and technical support from Edmonds, and you can check out a Chromebook if you need it. Chromebooks are not the best for Zoom, in my opinion. But anyway, let's see, website. We're going to use WAMAP as our course website. So I know that the math department uses WAMAP at Edmonds. So hopefully some of you have seen it before. I actually love it. I'm not using Canvas. I'm just using WAMAP. So hopefully once you get oriented on it, you will also come to enjoy it. All right, you'll have to make your account. It's a self-enroll. You'll enter the course ID and enrollment key. Here, please make sure that your last name matches your campus records. And then your first name can be how you'd like to be addressed. All right. You'll have to sign up. Sometimes you have to scroll way down to the bottom and enter the course. All right. Let's see. So most of our grade is going to be on exams. Exams are probably going to be on Thursday because we'll be in person. So they'll be on Thursdays. And there will be new content on Friday. If we end up doing exams and quizzes online, I will usually give a window of time for those. So in week 1, we will have quiz 1 online. Okay, so I designed most of the course as if they were going to be online, but once we go back into in-person, we'll just do them on Thursdays. All right, the homework is going to be 15% of your grade. The quizzes, every week there's not an exam, we'll have a quiz, and we will drop 1 quiz. And those will be 20% overall. And then there are some participation assignments, and those are variable and they're easy peasy. That's really just to float your grades up and to keep people engaged. So we'll talk more about what's involved in participation. And then we have our grade scale. This is the minimum grade for that percentage. So depending on how everything goes, how everything happens, sometimes I might give you a higher grade. Excuse me. Okay. So let's see, a note on taking responsibility for your own learning and keeping on top of the class. So you'll need to check in on the website regularly, even if you come on those 3 days that we meet in person. We will have 2 midterms and a final exam. And every day that we don't have a quiz, we will as an exam. We will have quizzes. They're usually 10 to 25 minutes long, depending on the content. And I don't drop that lowest quiz score until about week 5 or 6 of the quarter. So after we'll have a quiz that's, a bit harder, then I'll drop one and the grades will bump up rather than having your lowest score dropped all quarter. So grades will tend to run low at the beginning and then bump up when I drop that quiz. Working problems is the best way to get good at chemistry. And you can do the example problems in the book, and that's why having that bound notebook is really helpful, because you might do extra problems, or you might want to come back and look at your homework on the OWL Learning Center system. All right. And get help. Get help. Don't struggle alone. Don't get frustrated alone. reach out to tutoring or on our discussion forum and get help as soon as you need it. All right, so participation, there's a syllabus quiz, there are a couple reflection essays, I have some art assignments that I think really enliven the class, and participation on the discussion forum. I like to meet each student at least once, so come to office hours, have a private conversation, or meet me online. Sometimes it's just very quick, and other times we discover a lot of things that that we can troubleshoot to make the quarter go better for you. So plan to meet with me in an office hour. That's a participation score. And that usually goes into the gradebook about week 3. Don't wait till the end of the quarter. Originally I only gave credit in weeks 1 through 4, but I'll do them later, just not in finals week. All right, so you have to do it well before finals. Okay, and it's a couple of questions. These are my questions that I might ask you, and you can prepare questions for me in our little conference. I call it the conference. Okay, we'll talk more about those assignments as they get going. First, we're going to get organized in the class, get the chemistry started, and then we'll start having these supplemental stuff. That's fun. These are fun and engaging. I think you'll like them. Okay, so we're all going to be very respectful of each other at all times, and everyone is welcome. We all belong here. All of you belong here. You don't need to have any, well, okay, there's a math prerequisite, but you don't need any other prerequisites, right? Chemistry is super hard, and it's also pretty cool. So you belong here. It's often difficult, and let's be here for each other. Be respectful and inclusive, and with those interventions of support, then everyone can make it. Everyone can make it through. All right, but don't cheat. Do all of your own work. This is the academic integrity section. I have a couple statements in there and an honor pledge just to explain what cheating looks like, because sometimes it's not clear. Sometimes, you know, how do you know when you're collaborating versus when you're crossing the line and using someone else's work? It's not always obvious. So just do your own work. And we'll talk more about that. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. But I have to say that there are lists of names of students that work together that get passed through the courses. So departments are small, we get to know who our students are. Please do your own work. All right, students with disabilities have these resources. This again is a link or a phone number or an email. So if you need accommodation, please go to them, and I believe they will contact me. You can let me know too, but they have to go through that office. And last day to add drop January 14th. Last day to withdraw or change is February 18th. When you want to change to an audit, you need to be passing. So if you think you want to audit, make sure you do it when your grade is still in a passing level. All right, and then a link to the calendar. Now here is our planned schedule, and it might change. We might see things change. For example, it's a bit front-loaded. We have a lot of content at the beginning, and it's a little more sparse towards the end, which is really nice because then your other classes can have a little more attention. It's not like chemistry that's #1 all the time. But I may change things up. We'll see how it works. And also, the online quizzes, the content is not accurate for our class. So I like to update those together with you to talk about, you know, what are we going to include on quiz 1? How far do we get? What do we understand? So those will be updated, but the dates are set up in there. And our final exam is on Wednesday, March 16th. It is earlier than our class meeting time. So don't forget, please try to remember. I'll remind you. But sometimes students come in at 8:30 and they've missed half the final. So try to be on top of that. All right, what else? Lots of resources for students. I call this the syllabus addendum. Lots of links. I think Learning Support Center and e-tutoring. Well, I mean e-tutoring, you might as well come to us. Come to me and our Zoom, work with your class, because we know exactly what you need. So I would say go to your Learning Support Center, for in-person tutoring or e-tutoring, or really just come see me in Zoom in one of those hours. Oh, drop-in tutoring for chemistry. Great. So STEM study room. That's the one that we would go to. Let's see, there's a food pantry and emergency funding. There's a lot of student resources. If you have needs, definitely reach out, because there's a lot of benefits to being a student. And, you know, we want to support you to really be able to work at your best. All right, student success coach, counseling, resources, so valuable. Wellness, violence prevention, technology assistance, and these will all be on our course website as well as in the syllabus. A couple different offices. Oh, wait a second. This is not the version I had. Anyway, I'll let you read the syllabus addendum. This has a couple other extra things in there. All right. Well, welcome to the class. Sorry I don't have time to edit and make this video a little more polished, but I did want to welcome you, and I look forward to meeting you. And we will not meet on Monday on Zoom, but we will meet on Tuesday on Zoom at 8:30, right? Yes, 8:30 on Tuesday. And great, I look forward to meeting you.